is up, Yub2? Today we're going to be talking about how to become a millionaire. But not only that, how to become a tax-free millionaire. Now, obviously, the government does like to take their cut out of anything you make. So how do you manage to become a tax-free millionaire? Well, that is what we're talking about today. But before we get into the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. I mean, look at this. Only 5% of you that are watching this video right now are subscribed. Go ahead, let's change that. And we are on the path to 1,000 subscribers. So if you subscribe, we are going to be on our way to that goal. So how do you become a tax-free millionaire? Well, it's a really simple but somewhat complicated process. And it's something called a Roth IRA. Now, what is a Roth IRA? A Roth IRA is a retirement investment account that is only used for post-tax money. So after you file your income taxes with the IRS, because obviously the government does want their cut. I mean, honestly, the best example of how I can explain Roth IRAs work is you sit down at Thanksgiving dinner with your pecan pie, with your apple pie or whatever, and you go, and right before you start to dig in to enjoy whatever you're making, they take the host of the party, or the landlord, let's say, takes a massive part of that pie. Now, with that remaining section of that pie, let's say they take 25%, so you're left with 75%. Out of that 75%, however much is declared as your income on that tax form, depends on what tax bracket you're in and how much you can contribute. And you can kind of see, it's very complicated, it's kind of weird to look at. So I'm going to have it linked down in the description. It's via Charles Schwab, and if you do want to sign up for Charles Schwab and get access to that Roth IRA, I will have a link in the description as well. If you make under $129,000 and you are single, so you're a single filer, you can max contribute $6,000. Now, most of you that are watching this video right now, this is obviously meant for the college students, so most of you are going to be single filers. But if you are filed and you're filing jointly, if you make under $204,000 combined together, you can contribute $6,000. Now, if you're over 50 and you're single and you make under $129,000, you can contribute $7,000. So if you want to see what applies to you and what tax bracket, go check out that link down below and look at this screenshot right here. So how does $6,000 a year allow for you to become a tax-free millionaire? Well, the really cool thing about Roth IRAs is since it only uses and only utilizes money after the IRS has taken their cut, they don't take their cut again when you pull it out of your retirement account. So think about it as that whole pie you have now, you now cut 3% out of whatever that pie is, and you set that to the side. Now that pie, for some reason, doesn't age. It only grows bigger and bigger and bigger, like an investment account. And that pie, when you turn whatever age you declare to retire, usually around 65, you're allowed to take that pie, and since that pie has already been cut out with the IRS, you get to eat that pie, that whole thing. So that's what's really cool about Roth IRAs, is the government takes their cut, you do get hit pretty hard with it, and you are ceilinged at how much you contribute, but they limit how much you contribute because it is such a amazing asset. Someone is now a billionaire using a Roth IRA account, and the government can't touch their money because they only used it in the Roth IRA. So that's what's really funny and that's what's causing some uproar in the government as to, should we stop IRA? Should we limit how much it's using? It's because people are actually becoming millionaires, billionaires, just through Roth IRA, and the government can't take their cut because they already did. So this is a really cool asset. It's a great way to get into the stock market and building up your investment portfolio. So before you start a 401k, build up a Roth IRA, get your income and start making money to where you can actually show that you're making income to the IRS, and you can file for income tax because that will allow you to open up a Roth IRA. Now, there's many platforms that have Roth IRAs, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, Fidelity, many other stock investment trading platforms. Now, speaking of trading platforms, If you want to get a stock worth up to $1,000, go check out the link to public.com/money sausage, and you will be able to get a stock worth up to $1,000. Now, they don't have a Roth IRA, but we're moving on. So how does that $6,000 a year, if you're making under $129,000, manage to make you $1 million? Well, I'm going to plug into a compound interest calculator, and I'll put up the graph so it shows you how much you're making. And we're going to go to the age, we're going to go 3 ages, 45, 55, and 65. So you can see how each contribution and each contribution amount can change your level of income that is not taxable because it was already taxed. So that's what's really cool about this. I'll put screenshots and make sure you can follow along pretty easily. Now, first off, we're going to say your initial investment is $6,000 because the first year you get a Roth IRA, that's all you can contribute because you are capped immediately once you make that money. So I'm going to, for the rest of this video, I'm sticking with the $6,000 contribution limit. So wherever you fit in there, that's what we're working with. Now, your initial investment is $6,000. And $6,000 divided by 12 is $500 a month, which isn't that much. So you're contributing $500 a month to your Roth IRA from your last year's taxed income. And so we're going to say you start your investment journey when you're 21. Your initial investment, you put up in one massive load whenever you're 21. So let's say you're turning 21 in 2022. In 2023, you're allowed to contribute $6,000 because you made under $129,000. But then that whole year, you're not allowed to contribute again. So we're going to subtract 1 year. So we're going to go from, say you start contributing again at 22. So the difference between 22 to 45 is 23 years. Now, we're going to say that you invest this money into a index fund. And index funds usually have a 7% return on top of inflation. Now, obviously, if you don't understand why this year is different, go watch my How to Invest in Index Funds for Beginners video, which will be linked down in the description. So we're going to say that we're rocking with 11% because usually it's 7% and inflation's around 4.1%. So we're going to say you have an estimated interest rate of 11% return, and your compound frequency is going to be annually because, you file taxes annually. So we're going to calculate. So in 23 years, if you start investing, so you initially contribute $6,000 when you're 21, and then you start contributing $500 a month in the year of 2024. So in 2024, you start contributing $500 a month after your age year of 23. So in 2023, you take your 2022 investment. So I know this is a lot of numbers. So 2022, you file your taxes. You make under $129,000. You put $6,000 into your account immediately in 2023. 2023, you just focus on making money, and then you make under $129,000, and then you file your 2023 tax return in 2024. And then starting in 2024, so you're now 23 years old, you are now contributing $500 a month for the rest of your life. In 23 years, when you're 45, all of that money will be worth $613,000. Now, obviously, that's not that much, but if you were to stick with your investment rating of just keeping that, and if you're not investing in an 11% return rate index fund, your contributions would be only worth $144,000. So that is a massive growth already. Now, for the next step is when you're 55. So that's going to be a 33-year difference because obviously you're starting to contribute when you turn 22. And so by the time you are 55, so 33 years after you started your Roth IRA, you are going to be worth $1.841 million. And that is almost $2 million of completely tax-free money. Now, if you have any questions about how all of this works, please leave it down in the comments and I'll try to make either another video and addressing. So out of that $1.8 million, almost $2 million of tax-free money, the 7% rule applies. And what's the 7% rule? So we're going to say that you retire at 55, you pull your money and you stop contributing. You're just like, okay, this is what's happening. And to retire, you pull 7%. That way, your stock growth can still continue upwards with inflation, so you're not losing any money to inflation. And that's why you want to stick to 7%, because usually index funds have a return of 7% with whatever inflation is on top. And 7% of $1.8 million is $126,000 per year. And that is tax-free income because you decided to contribute first off $6,000 and then $500 for the remaining rest of your life each month. Now, that's crazy, but if you wait another 10 years, when you turn 65, and if you don't believe me, go plug this in for yourself. Go check it out. You will see how this works. Now, if you wait another 10 years, your investments will be worth $5.3 million. So if you just start going and going and going, and you stay consistent with that $500 a month contribution, when you turn 65 at the retirement age, you're going to be worth $5.3 million. And it's completely tax-free. The government can't touch your money. Isn't that insane? You can be worth $5.3 million and the government can't touch any of it because they already touched it. They already doodled with your noodles. And that's amazing. Isn't this amazing? Just through the power of a Roth IRA, you can become a tax-free millionaire. There's no catches. There's no gimmicks. You just have to be smart with your money. And $500 a month isn't that much. In reality, it's not. If you were to start contributing when you were at 19, so let's say you put your first initial investment at $6,000 when you turn 19, then you started investing regularly $500 a month when you turn 20. So that will add another 2 years. So instead of investing for just 43 years until you're 65, you'll be 45 years. And with those 2 years of investments, you would be worth $6.577 million. So if you waited until you were 67 to retire, you would have almost an extra $1.2 million. And every year after that, you're just going to grow and grow and grow. And it's just a spiraling ball. So if you build a Roth IRA, build it early. Start contributing as soon as you can. When you turn 18, make sure you get a job so you can start contributing when you turn 19. If you're already 20, get going. Get a Roth IRA. Because if the longer you wait, the less returns you're going to have. You will still be able to become a tax-free millionaire if you're smart with your money and if you start investing now. Now, that's the thing, is you're starting in a downturn. If you start investing in a Roth IRA this year or the next couple months, you are going to be able to buy more shares of an index fund because we're in a recession right now. So you're going to be able to buy more shares and you're going to see increased rates of return. So you may, and although you usually see 11% of returns each year, you could see up to 20% return just in 1 year. And that will rocket the value of your index funds tremendously. So get a Roth IRA, go to Charles Schwab, set up an account with that link in the bio. Make sure you do your research. I'll put the links to the compound interest calculator, Charles Schwab investment contribution requirements, and all the stuff I mentioned. I'll link down in the bio. So make sure you go check that out. If you found today's video useful at all, or you have any questions, feel free to comment. And if you did like the video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe. As I said, only 5% of you are subscribed. Now, come on. We got this. We can get to 1,000, 10,000 subs. I just need your help. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you found today's video. Obviously, I love talking about Roth IRAs and investing, so I got a little energetic. Apologies. But it's not impossible to become a tax-free millionaire. I hope you realize that it's not hard to become a tax-free millionaire, and all you have to do is be consistent and start early. Now, with that being said, it is the Money Sausage signing out. See ya.